So, hello and a very warm welcome to everyone joining us here for this pre-season friendly. Borussia Dortmund taking on Erzgebirge Aue in their second pre-season friendly at the beginning of a new era. Of course, Edin Terzic no longer in charge. Nuri Sahi, a former player, assistant manager to Edin Terzic last season, and joined mid-season as part of the backroom staff, now fully in charge of proceedings for what should be a very, very exciting new campaign under Sahin. Emphatic win already in pre-season, albeit against, well, not the strongest of opposition, shall we say. A 7-1 victory over the DEW21 Dream Team, a team made up of Dortmund amateur players and influencers as well. So perhaps not the toughest test they will have over the summer break, but definitely a good and fun way to limber up and just get the blood flowing again. This, on the other hand, will definitely be a much stiffer test for the boys in black and yellow. I'll just take you through the starting lineup for Borussia Dortmund. Maya starting in goal, Niklas Süle, the captain for today. Riasen, Rotte, Benkera, Meiser. Coming in from the under-19s, of course. Tom Rotte returning from his loan spell last season at Holstein Kiel. Given a chance to impress here today. A number of players, of course, still away on holiday, will be joining up with the squad, with plenty of pre-season action still to come, which we will be bringing you as always, of course. As for the rest of the starting lineup, some more familiar names to make up the rest of the 11 in the form of Julian Brandt, Vetjen Adeyemi, Coco, and Jamie Bino Gittins. A number of youngsters on the bench, of course. Out of Lewis Kaba, Brunner, Agil Rogov, Hetve, Lila and Jessen. Sebastian Aller in attendance today as well. Good chance we'll see him in action in the second half. We did see Nuri Sahin put an entirely new 11 out for the second half in the first friendly of the summer. It is understood he will probably do the same here. Lotka, of course, the backup keeper, will surely get some action here today. In the beautiful Erzgebirge Stadion here in Aue. It is an action-packed summer, as always, for BVB. Plenty to look forward to. Of course, after today, Black and Yellows off to Japan for friendlies against Patum United from Thailand, and then Shinji Kagawa's Cerezo Osaka. And then we'll conclude the pre-season with matches against La Liga side Villarreal in Austria, just next door to Germany, of course. And then we'll play Aston Villa on home soil. It should be a cracker before the competitive action gets underway and the 2024-2025 season kicks off, which in Germany is with the DFB Pokal first round. BVB taking on Phoenix Lübeck on August the 17th. So make sure you join us for that. Always a great way to get the new season going with a cup clash, as is the norm in the German top flights. Well, the Dortmund opponent today, Erzgebirge Aue, have already played 3 pre-season matches since July the 6th. It's been a bit of a mixed bag for them so far, winning 2, losing 1. The loss to Meuselwitz, 4-0 defeat there. Apart from that, 2 big wins for them. 5-0 a win over Gleavon, and a 4-0 win over Plauen last Friday. Kilian Jakob and Marcel Barr, as well as Boris Tashi, getting on the score sheet in that 5-0 thrashing. Dortmund will pose a far more difficult challenge for the 3rd division side. There is Aue on the ball, going to build up an attack inside the Dortmund half. Attempt at the switch of play there, just a little too much mustard on the ball out wide. Burgart as the intended target there. Even at full stretch, unable to get to that one. Decent attendance here in Aue as well for this game. Not too many Dortmund fans, but 1 or 2 black and yellow shirts in and amongst a sea of purple. Felix and Mecha and Yusufa Mukoko both netting a brace in that friendly against the DEW 21 Dream Team, which was Nuri Sahin's first game in charge as manager. Spent almost 2 years in charge of Turkish club Antalyaspor before joining Terzic's backroom staff in December last year. Quick to mention that being coach of Borussia Dortmund, an absolute privilege for him. 35-year-old promising attacking football for the upcoming season, which will be music to the ears of each and every Dortmund fan, I'm sure. Especially after a slightly disappointing finish last season in the Bundesliga, 5th spot. A little underwhelming for most supporters, but their run in the Champions League, absolutely spectacular, falling short only at the last hurdle against Real Madrid in the final. Thanks to Germany's superior UEFA coefficient ranking, of course, BVB have qualified for next season's newly formed Champions League anyway. So good news there. As Aue pick up a questionable free kick there. Didn't look like there was too much in that. Karim Adeyemi certainly not convinced. Still no Waldemar Anton. course, involved in the Euros with the German national team. He's still on holiday, excuse me. Getting some well-needed rest, of course. The summer arrival in central defence from VfB Stuttgart. Just under 23 million euros. Was paid for his services, but a shrewd bit of business once again by Borussia Dortmund. And something tells me he will not be the last arrival before the window closes. Sahin, of course, will want to stamp his authority on this squad as well. Try and implement a few changes in terms of personnel before the season does finally get going in late August. There's Benkera combining with Meiser. Both know each other well from the under-19s, of course. Plenty of youngsters here with Borussia Dortmund. Chance for them to perhaps try and break into the first team with an impressive pre-season. Sahin also expressing his desire to really try and utilise some of the young players that Dortmund have available. Such a long history of developing young talent and bringing them through the first team. Something that Sahin wishes to continue. Decent little spell this from Erzgebirge Aue. Nice little through ball there as well. Tries to dink it across into the middle, looking for Tashi. Aue with plenty of personnel changes of their own. Far more than Dortmund so far. It's a lovely take. By Benkera. In the end, though, going back to Aue. Plenty of players heading off in different directions. Schickerer, Danhoff, Thiel, Burger and Moya. Deciding to end their time with the third division side. But then plenty of new faces as well, the likes of Özkan, Hoffmann, Fabisch, Bornschein and Fallmann joining in the summer. Aue with just one friendly left against Carl Zeiss Jena in 3 days' time, before preparing for their opening third division game at home against Hannover 96 reserves on August the 3rd. Of course, third division gets going a little earlier than the top flights. And an early corner here for the home side after a really good opportunity to open up the scoring. As already mentioned, Aue with a fair few pre-season games under their belt already, and fluidity throughout the team there to see early into this game with 13.5 minutes gone. Wilson's header really away from danger. Does well to recover. So Dortmund now with a corner of their own. Or, excuse me, a free kick right on the edge of the penalty area. Julian Brandt and Karim Adeyemi both standing over the ball here. It was a clumsy challenge, really. Right on the edge of the box there by Stefan Jak. As Brandt tries to whip it over. Just can't quite get enough height on it. The wall doing its job, much to the delight of Menel in goal. So Dortmund do now have that corner, which Julian Brandt will also take. In towards the near post again, not enough height on that delivery. Somehow bobbles through to a black and yellow shirt, but not for long, as Aue now try to break quickly in the other direction. Here is Bornschein with the ball out wide, but too much on it for Pepic. As the attack breaks down just as quickly as it started. Tom Rotte with the throw. And Aue will have a corner, their second of the game. Difficult conditions for the players, very hot here in Aue this early evening. Stefan Jak to whip one into the box, plays it short. Oh, well worked corner. But the final effort there, well off the mark. As Nuri Sahin watches on. Everyone waiting to see what he can bring to the team. Of course, a man who knows all about Borussia Dortmund. Real fan favourite as a player. He'll be hoping for a similar relationship with the fans as manager as well, but no reason why he shouldn't be successful. BVB fortunate to get away with what looked like initially anyway a good opportunity for Aue. Here's Karim Adeyemi. Does well to win the corner. The home fans appreciating the defensive display. Not too much to write home about so far, with almost 20 minutes gone. Now perhaps chance for Dortmund to break the deadlock from a dead ball situation. And that is exactly what they do. And it is the youngster Benkara with a fantastic header. Central defender rising above the rest, using that height and physical presence to perfection. It's a really well placed header into the far corner. Inside side netting, absolutely no keeping that one out. And Benkara gets the party started here in Aue.
in den Blöcken A, B und OB. Bitte rutschen noch etwas zusammen und nach oben. Draußen stehen noch einige Fans, die noch rein möchten. Vielen Dank.
So Dortmund with a 1-0 lead. With the second real chance of the game. Aue with a decent one early on. Dortmund yet to really produce any from open play. A really good delivery and an even better header. The difference so far between these two sides. It's a goal that seems to have helped the game spring into life a little now as well. Stefaniak's delivery a little underwhelming. Great idea with the long ball forward. Jamie Bino-Gittens the intended target. Aue spreading the ball out wide once more. Too much distance on that delivery from Burkhardt. Do have another chance to whip one in from the other side though, and it's not dealt with by BVB, but thankfully none of the Erzgebirge players able to get on the end of it either. Another chance goes begging for the home side. Maya more or less sort of stuck in the mud there. Horrible situation to be in as a goalkeeper. You're just waiting for any sort of touch and then not quite sure whether or not you should go for the ball or perhaps wait for a player to get a touch on it and then react. Alexander Meyer called on more than once, plenty to be more precise, last season. Gregor Kobel suffering an injury which saw him out for a decent spell of games. Alexander Meyer coming in and doing a fantastic job. Really is a great number 2 to have. He of course will trying to fight his way into the number 1 spot. Difficult to see a way past Gregor Kobel. With a consistency on show from him again last season. But Alexander Meyer already showing that when the opportunity comes his way, he is ready to take the job on and impress. Vetjen in midfield, another player who broke into the first team last year, was part of the Champions League squad as well. It was a dream end to the season for him. Put in some really good displays and didn't look out of place whatsoever either. No, nothing wrong with the challenge from Rotte. According to the referee, here's Jamie Bino-Gittens now. Looking to run at the Aue defence. And then gives away the free kick. Trying to win the ball back after giving it away. Could be a big season for young Jamie Bino-Gittens as well. Definitely had his moments last campaign. More often than not, coming off the bench. Did have 1 or 2 starts. Well, more than 1 or 2. A handful, shall we say. But in his time on the pitch, more than once, able to show what he's capable of. Lightning pace. Really tricky player as well. Great technique with the ball. Borussia with the switch of play as Aue come forward once more. It's a decent ball inside. And Niklas Süle standing his ground. Does well to intercept. Still BVB struggling to get out of their own half at the moment as Aue utilising the high press very well indeed. Süle. Oh, Moukoko leading the line up front. Has not had very much to work with so far. It's been a quiet game for him, but he hasn't had a lot of service come his way. Rotter with the interception, but puts it out of play for an Aue throw. Just inside their own half. Half an hour gone. Dortmund lead by a goal to nil, thanks to youngster Benkera. A really well taken header. Although, from open play, you could argue that Aue have probably looked the more dangerous. They look dangerous again here as they break through the middle. Shouts for a penalty. Rosenlöcher felt he was brought down unfairly there by Karim Adeyemi. Referee quick to wave play on though, not enough in it for him. There is Elias Benkera, the goal scorer. Puts his boot through it, sends it upfield. Adeyemi picking up the pieces and then tries to thread one through the middle for Youssoufa Moukoko, who might have just drifted offside there. Wasn't a bad idea, just lacked the execution. Well, the home fans trying to get behind their side. Won't be too displeased with what they've seen so far, to be fair. Will feel a little hard done by that their team is trailing by the 1 goal. Lovely first touch from Julian Brandt, who is up and away now. Lovely weight on the pass to Adeyemi. Tries a cheeky little chip, looking for the far corner there. Did have options in the middle in the form Jamie Bino Gittins and Yusufa Mokoko. Decided to go it alone and almost looked like he was caught in between two minds as to whether to take the shot on or pick out a teammate. In the end, it was neither. I think he was actually trying to play it across for Mokoko or Bino Gittins. Final ball was well off the mark. Better from Dortmund there, though. Well, again, Aue win the ball back in a really promising area. But again, they can't do much with it. Home side with a player down here. Is Ricky Bornschein, the new arrival at number 9. Caught by Tyler Meiser. Just stepped in front of the Dortmund youngster in an attempt to try and win the ball back on the edge of the box. Looks like he took a bit of a whack to the Achilles on his left foot there. Not too far to travel for some of the Dortmund fans. Just under an hour's drive away, Aue from Dortmund. Just south of Wuppertal. And slightly northeast of Leverkusen. Lovely part of the country. Sula. One touch too many there from the big man. One back well by Mokoko. Chance to break now. Here's Kielvetje looking for the 1-2 with Julian Brandt. Brandt a little heavy with the ball back to the young man. Chance now, perhaps. Adeyemi shifts it to his right. And then fired up and over. In the end, by Kjell had every right to go for goal there. Just didn't quite strike it the way you would have hoped. Went for power and lacked the accuracy. Get another look at it here. Really puts his boot through that one, but was just sliced a little. Was always travelling away from goal. Benkera happy to leave that one to Alexander Meyer. Rotte to Bino Gittins. Dances past one defender. Tries to bring Vetjen into play. It's well defended by Aue though. Play their way out of trouble nicely there. Marvin Stefaniak with the ball out wide, then the ball across the middle. Just half a metre too far ahead of Ricky Bornschein. Number 9 joining from Greuther Fürth on a free transfer. Lovely ball out wide to pick out Riesen from Julian Brandt. Leaves it to Adeyemi. Adeyemi hacked down. Was it inside the box though? Marvin Stefaniak, the guilty party. Don't think he can have too many complaints. Or has it gone against Adeyemi? Decision has gone against Dortmund. For simulation there from Karim Adeyemi. Let's have another look at it here. Alright, perhaps it does go down a little theatrically there, Karim Adeyemi. Difficult to see if there was any contact whatsoever. So into the final 5 minutes of this first half. Doubt there will be too much time added on, which is usually the case in these pre-season friendlies. Oh, lovely. Chance now for Dortmund to finish strong. Players forward. Here's Riesen. Riesen pulls the trigger. Forces a really good save from Martin Mennel. Drives it hard and low, looking for the bottom left corner there. Mennel able to get down and just parry it wide. and out for a corner. Got his positioning spot on there, Mendel. Not a bad corner. No one really where the ball landed, though. Dortmund will have another chance to whip it in from this near side. Swing and a miss from Yusufa Mokoko. Could be a big season coming up for the young striker. Spent the majority of last season as sort of a backup striker, coming off the bench. Coming off the bench to score on a fair few occasions as well. Now perhaps a chance for Mokoko. Tries to sort of drag it past the last defender there. Unable to do so. Now Aue looking to try and come up with an equaliser before the half-time whistle blows, but unable to control the ball there. Riason down in the meantime. Looks like he's taken a whack to the head there. Well, as far as pre-season friendlies go, I've seen plenty that have been less entertaining than this here. I've had chances at both ends, a goal in this first half as well, thankfully, for the boys in black and yellow. Well, in the meantime, the half-time whistle does go. So Dortmund will carry a one-goal cushion down the tunnel and into the second 45. With Elias Benkara, the under-19 player, called up into the first team here during the summer. Given a chance to impress, he's certainly done just that. Not just in front of goal, but has looked relatively solid at the back as well.
das wieder super gespielt. Und da ist das erste Tor. Felix Metscher. 5. Minute. Und da hat man dann schon die Tempounterschiede gesehen, finde ich. Viel Regen, Wind, kalt ist es. Aber dennoch viele Zuschauer gekommen. Jetzt kommt Karim Adeyemi, wieder Felix Metscher. Schuss! 7. Minute. Und den schlänzt er mal wunderschön oben rein. für den BVB. Zweimal Felix Metscher.
Die Beine geht ins Flanke. Oh, die kommt an bei Julian Riasson und klasse. So, da kann er sich mal auszeichnen. Oh, jetzt wird die DEW-Truppe ein bisschen mutiger. Sumaila Coulibaly wird angelaufen.
Oh, da ist Cesar Toy mit dem Tor. Vielleicht. Das ist das Tor. Der Kapitän, der MVP der Hallenstadtmeisterschaften trifft.
Kommt nicht schlecht. Ah, schade. Und nochmal im Nachschuss. Jawohl! Kabar. Almogera Kabar, da ist er. Habe ich doch gesagt, es wird bestraft. So, hier nochmal in der Wiederholung. Erst Paris Brunner mit dem Kopfball. Wird geklärt und sehr aufmerksam nachgesetzt. Abgeschlossen. Zum 3:1.
Ui. Jetzt vielleicht das 4. Mokoko. Und da ist es. Oh, der will direkt den Ball, der will noch ein paar machen.
Aber jetzt erstmal auf dem Platz. Julian Hetwa mit der Hereingabe. Und jetzt muss es klingeln. Jawohl!
Schönes Tor.
Ayman Agil mit dem 5:1. So, hier nochmal die Wiederholung. So, schön zurückgelegt. Und dann hat er freie Schussbahn. Ayman Agil. So. 6:1. Yusufa Mokoko, Aufsetzer. Ja, da ärgert sich Jan Stemmler, aber auf dem Rasen. Ich weiß nicht, was ist mit Mucki los? Müssen wir irgendwie ein Hinspielresultat aufholen oder war man das so eilig?
Jetzt Mokoko. Jetzt hat er Glück. Aber der war auch nicht so schwer.
Den hat Chico auch gemacht. Wir gönnen auf jeden Fall Paris Brunner diesen Treffer. Ja, und leider Joshua Tam auch mit dem Gegentor. Also hier macht Mucki, macht gut, setzt sich gut durch, erobert den Ball. Und ich würde sagen, Stefan, da belohnt sich Paris für eine sehr, sehr engagierte Leistung in dieser zweiten Halbzeit.
Also
einzige Frage ist, ob Chico noch einen Ballkontakt bekommt. Die Antwort ist nein. Das ist der Schlusspfiff.
Juri, das ganze Ding läuft hier unter Traumspiel. Auch für dich ist ein Traum wahr geworden. Das erste Mal Cheftrainer an der Linie von Borussia Dortmund. Wie hast du dich angefühlt heute?
Ja, gut. Besonders, auch wenn es jetzt kein Pflichtspiel war, aber Trainer von Borussia Dortmund zu sein, ist ein Privileg und das darf ich ausüben und bin sehr, sehr glücklich. Habe mich heute, als wir hier angekommen sind, ein bisschen Rückblick meines Lebens, so ein bisschen meiner Karriere und ja, jetzt sitze ich hier oder stehe hier, besser gesagt, als Trainer von Borussia Dortmund und bin extrem glücklich.
Was sagt der neue Trainer von Borussia Dortmund zur Leistung deiner Mannschaft?
Ja, ich meine, für uns war es suboptimal, am zweiten Tag zu spielen. Deswegen, da bin ich auch ehrlich, auch wenn man das Ding hier irgendwie verloren hätte oder so und sich keiner verletzt, wäre ich hier glücklich nach Hause gefahren. Und das ist so, niemand hat, ich glaube, Sumi hat nur einen Schlag bekommen, der Rest ist gesund geblieben. Die Jungs haben den Ball gut laufen lassen. Wir haben jetzt in den letzten 2 Tagen das Spiel durchs Zentrum ein bisschen thematisiert und auf dem Platz trainiert. Ich habe 3, 4, 5 gute Abläufe gesehen und das reicht mir dann auch, ehrlich gesagt. Dass wir am Ende noch Tore machen, das ist cool.
Ja, Nuri, kannst du vielleicht noch 1, 2 Sätze zum Event sagen?
Ja, wie gesagt, ich kenne das ja aus meiner Zeit als Spieler. Ich habe hier übrigens auch mit Borussia, ich weiß nicht, ob es ein Traumspiel war, aber ich habe hier gespielt, das weiß ich. Und wenn man in der Region ist, was Borussia Dortmund für diese Region bedeutet, brauche ich niemandem zu erzählen. Wenn man dann auch nur ein bisschen was zurückgeben kann, fühlen wir uns natürlich verpflichtet, hierher zu kommen, unser bestes Gesicht zu zeigen, Fannähe zu zeigen. Und das haben die Jungs gut gemacht und ja, rundum gelungene Sache.
So, a warm welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us for the second half now between Erzgebirge Aue from Germany's 3rd division and our boys in black and yellow. Borussia Dortmund 1-0 up so far, thanks to a fine header from youngster Elias Benkera. It looks like Nuri Sahin has decided, as expected, to change all 11 players, 10 at least it looks like. I'm not quite sure if it is now Lotka in goal. Difficult to tell from here, but I will get that information to you as quickly as possible. What a chance for the youngsters and Sébastien Haller to impress now. Haller leading the line, the number 9 up front. Well, there should be plenty of pace and eagerness to impress from the majority of these players. Of course, these pre-season friendlies for those who are already a fixed part of the first team. More of an opportunity to sort of get that match fitness back. But for the youngsters who are called up from the under-17s, under-19s, the BVB reserves, also known as BVB 2, who play in the 3rd division against the likes of Erzgebirge Aue, their opponents today, it's a real chance to maybe catch the eye of Nuri Sahin and perhaps even break into the first team and taste some Bundesliga, maybe even some Champions League action. Kiel Vetjen, the under-19 and reserve team captain, a prime example of just that. So it looks like the likes of David Lele, Yannick Lewis, Almogeda Kabar, Ayman Azil, Julian Hetver and Paris Brunner all out on the pitch now as well. Paris Brunner especially, if you ask me, a player to keep an eye on, playing in the sort of left wing position up front to the left of Sébastien Haller. Really powerful young man. He's an eye for goal, but loves to run at players as well. Very technically gifted, but extremely strong as well for his young age. Stefaniak gets a shot off there from the edge of the penalty area. That's not enough really to trouble the Dortmund keeper, which seems to still be Alexander Meyer. So no Marcel Lotka just yet. So it is still Alexander Meyer in goal. And I believe a total of 8 outfield changes made, with both Rotte and Meiser the only 2 players left over from the first 45. That is a late challenge there, and it will be a yellow card. Is Meiser flying into that tackle. Bit of a wild one. To those of you joining us here for this live stream, this is the live stream with English commentary. There is also a live stream with German commentary available. So feel free to just search for that, should pop up straight away. Those of you deciding to stay, Thank you for joining us here. Chance here for BVB. Lovely through ball from Sebastian Aller. Threading it through very nicely indeed into the path of Hetver. Tries to cut it back across the box, but unable to pick out a teammate. Ozil to take the corner from this near side. Dortmund with a 1-goal cushion. Good delivery. And a free header there for Paris Brunner. Unable to find the target. Wasn't really under too much pressure there. He will feel he probably should have done better. At least testing the keeper. Should have been on the cards. So just another reminder of the upcoming pre-season schedule for Nuri Sahin and his team. After today, it's off to Asia, to Japan to be precise. Dortmund will take on Thailand's BG Pathum United, and then Shinji Kagawa's Cerezo Osaka. Two very interesting encounters there, and then it's back to Europe, to Austria at the beginning of August, where Dortmund will take on La Liga's Villarreal before capping off pre-season on home soil against the Premier League's Aston Villa, which should be a really interesting match, especially as it's the one just before competitive action gets underway. Erzgebirge Aue with a fair few changes as well. Hoffmann, Kanza, Jakob, Fallmann, Fabisch, Clausen and Seitz all coming on. And here come Erzgebirge Aue. That's a decent ball. Out onto the left wing, and a really good tackle there. Superb block, one that had to be made. A really smart play there from David Lella. Dortmund defence having to deal with a little bit of pressure here. It's a good little spell for Aue. There's Pepic. And Aue able to hold on to the ball. Stefan Jak tries to switch it onto the other side, but just too much fizz on that ball. There's an opportunity now for Dortmund to make it two. It's a golden opportunity for Franz Rogoff. It was Paris Brunner who picked him out, I think. So gets his head up. Sees his teammate in space on the edge of the penalty area. Does really well to pick him out. Rogoff just leaning back slightly with that effort off the inside of the right boot. And was always travelling up and over. Well, opportunities at both ends of the pitch here in this second half. A little over 10 minutes of it played so far. The Dortmund youngsters faring well though. Closing down in the opponent's half has certainly been impressive so far. Able to win the ball back in promising positions more than once already. A player down for Dortmund here. It looks like Julian Hetver, the player in trouble. Looks like a slight knock to the back. He's back on his feet though and looks like he's going to be able to continue. Brunner does really well out on that left wing. Not only to win the ball back, but also win his side a corner. Well, not quite enough lift on that delivery in towards the near post. Nearly one back. And instead, counter now on. Tackles flying in left, right and centre at the moment. Here in Aue. Good to see both sets of players more than happy to let play come to a halt there, just to make sure the injury isn't too serious. Erzgebirge Aue and their third division season, of course, starting early next month, so not too long to go for them. Last thing they would want is to pick up any injuries to some of their starting players. Boris Tasci, of course, is definitely one in that category. Looks like he's going to be okay to continue though. Is something that Nuri Sahin addressed after the first pre-season friendly for BVB, although they came out 7-1 winners in the end. What was most important to him is that they came out of the game injury-free. The result secondary as far as he was concerned. So the team out there at the moment, apart from Sebastian Aller and Alexander Meyer in goal, made up of under-17s, under-19s and Dortmund reserves. BVB's competitive campaign gets underway on the 17th of August in the DFB Pokal, the domestic cup first round against Phoenix Lübeck, away from home as well for Dortmund. And then the Bundesliga opener will be at home in the Signal Iduna Park when they welcome Eintracht Frankfurt on the 24th of August. Ball out wide. Now goes for it himself there. Not the worst idea by Julian Hetwer, although some of his teammates in the middle, I'm sure, would argue that the ball should have come their direction instead. Never quite got the contact he was looking for there. Just sliced it off the top of the boot. Stefaniak down with a problem here. Caught by Niklas Jessen, who was very quick to apologise there. I think the majority of Dortmund fans probably not quite sure what to expect from Nuri Sahin. Of course, any improvement on the 5th place finish from last season will be welcomed with open arms, of course. I think everyone extremely disappointed with that, of course. Dortmund going on a fantastic run in the Champions League all the way to the final, just falling short against Real Madrid. Will be playing Champions League next year, thanks to the UEFA coefficient in Germany. So we'll have another run at Europe's elite club competition, but fans will be desperate for them to do better domestically. 5th place simply not good enough for a club of BVB's stature and history. Dortmund looking to build from the back here. Brunner. A powerful little solo run there, just couldn't pick out a teammate with the ball forward shortly thereafter. Dortmund still in possession though. Lovely efforts. Oh, great close control initially there by Paris Brunner. And then just couldn't find the finish to match. Really is such a talented young man. Even if we don't see him in the Bundesliga in the upcoming campaign, I don't think it'll be too long until we do. His upward trajectory in the past few seasons at youth level. Very, very promising indeed. big things expected from him. It'll be interesting to see how Dortmund do fare in the newly formed Champions League next season. Mixed reactions from fans. The majority sort of on the fence and waiting to see how it all unfolds. Should be interesting either way. Will take some getting used to. Not just for fans, but for the players as well, I'm sure. Aller, great ball out wide. Another decent attempt from the BVB youngsters. Almogera Kabar drifting inside, able to get the shot off, but just like Paris Brunner moments ago, unable to really get a decent shot off. A little over 20 minutes still to go here. Dortmund still with that one goal cushion, thanks to a fine first half header from Elias Benkera. Stefaniak unable to continue, probably more of a cautionary thing there, picking up a slight knock, replaced by a William Kalnbach. Good pressure by Aue. Good upper body strength though from the BVB man. Paris Brunner unable to keep the ball in play though. Didn't have a lot of space to work with. Really hugging the line there. Well, nothing wrong with that tackle, but it will be an Aue corner. Not quite going to plan there for the home side after taking the short corner. Handing possession back to BVB rather cheaply in the end. Mirnas Pepic unable to control the ball. Lovely one-touch football to play themselves out of trouble there at the back. There's Ayman Azil. Back with Azil once more. Patient build-up here from BVB. Quite an eventful start to the second half. Things have just slowed down a little here. Sebastian Haller drifting into an offside position there, just setting off a little too early. Might we see this game spring into life here as the final 15 minutes slowly but surely are approaching. Do feel Dortmund would benefit greatly from trying to get the ball out onto the left side to the likes of Paris Brunner. Has shown once or twice two little glimpses of what he's capable of. But I do have to say, at times, youngsters have knocked the ball around very confidently and nicely. Has been nice to watch. But now perhaps an opportunity. No. Brunner offside. Paris Brunner still just 18 years old. Whereas the number 9 shirts for the under-19s. Emphatic season for them in front of goal. Last campaign. Aue looking to break in the other direction. Gets the shot off, finds a little gap there in between the defenders. That's thankfully Alexander Meyer well positioned, able to get down early and get his body behind the ball. Relatively simple save for BVB's number 2 in the end. So Erzgebirge making a change in the goalkeeping department here as Martin Mennel hands over the captain's armband. Lewis Lord now in between the sticks for Aue for these final 15 minutes. Almoguera cup. Free kick taken quickly by Dortmund. Hetva back to Jessen. Now perhaps a chance for Dortmund. Threaded through the middle. Sebastian Haller, though, with his back to the ball. Don't think he was too aware that the pass was made when it was. Not quite in his direction either. Here come Aue. Down this left side with Kallenbach. Easy take for Maya. Could be an opportunity here. Again, the final ball just lacking slightly. A little more hopeful than confident there with that final pass. Played into a difficult area as well. That's a good turn by Haller, just a little heavy on the touch. Kallenbach with the challenge on head with it. Just catching him on the ankle. All in all, I think Nuri Sahin will be relatively pleased with what he's seen today. Of course, the majority of the squad made up of under-17s, under-19 players as well. The majority of which will not have played with each other in this sort of setup anyway. Of course, they will all be aware of each other. Some of them will know each other very well. But not always easy to come in and perform under these sort of circumstances. And also important not to forget that Erzgebirge Aue, playing with a lot of their core players, especially in the first half, and are well and truly into their pre-season as well. This is their fourth pre-season game so far, so much more rhythm in their game. And considering all that, Dortmund find themselves 1-0 up. And they're giving Aue a decent game here in the second half as well. Of course, will also be really interesting to see how many or which of these players do make that jump into the first team or get close to it. Vetjen, of course, already a candidate to keep his place in and amongst the first team squad after a really good end to last season. Paris Brunner as well for me. A player I think we'll be seeing a lot of in the future. Next season, or this upcoming season, perhaps one too early. But he's not far away. Regardless, great experience for some of these youngsters to being in and amongst the first team, training with them as well. And Aue have their equaliser. It's a well taken goal. Sean Andreas Seitz with the finish. Heartache for BVB. And the young players out on the pitch there. Both teams relatively evenly matched here throughout the second half, so they feel hard done by conceding that goal. But you have to take your hat off to Sean Andreas Seitz there. It was a very well taken goal from the Erzgebirge Aue number 7. Kylian Jakob with the early ball in towards him, around the back of the Dortmund defence. The quality of the pass allowing Sean Andreas Seitz to take it first time. He side foots it beautifully past Alexander Meyer, who was perhaps a little far off his line. But even a few steps back, I'm not sure he's keeping that one out. So the home fans with something to shout about as well now. As Franco Schädlich makes his way onto the pitch as well. Aller with the header on to Brunner. Has the time and space to turn, and this is what he can do when he's on the ball. Again, great work from Paris Brunner, still going. And will that be a penalty? No. He's been booked for simulation here. And Paris Brunner, not the kind of player to go into the dive. I think he certainly felt there was some contact on him. Difficult to see from that angle. Yellow card, maybe a little harsh to be honest. But in that moment there, Paris Brunner showing just why he can be so dangerous. Best position, if you ask me, is leading the line as a number 9, as he does with the under-19s, but he is extremely versatile, can play anywhere across a front 3, which is sort of what you have to be able to do in the modern game as a forward. The days of a lone striker and number 9 dwindling away. It really was incredible to see Brunner just dance past 3 or 4 players with such ease. Also looked like he'd found a way past the last one as well, which is why I was a little surprised to see him down, or go down if it was simulation. You'd think he'd probably try and stay on his feet and get the shot off. Which is why I'm not so sure. Yellow card for simulation was really the right decision there, but could be wrong. Three minutes to go. Literally no time added on at the end of the first, which would suggest it'll be the same at the end of the second here as well. There is still time for a winner. Whether or not we'll get one, we'll have to wait and see. Erzgebirge pressing a little too aggressively there. A little too close for comfort there, but dealt with well by Alexander Meyer. Dortmund with a throw deep inside the Aue half. Into the final minute now. Might be their final opportunity to get themselves ahead again. Goal now will certainly seal the deal. Aue perhaps with one last opportunity. Well defended though. Is there time for a counter? Brunner looking for options inside. None available. Referee takes a quick look at his watch. 90 minutes are up. And there is the final whistle. So Erzgebirge Aue able to salvage a draw late on after a 1-0 lead for Dortmund heading into half-time. A switch of players for both sets of teams and a decent performance from both sides as well. Nuri Sahin's BVB remain undefeated in pre-season and will now head off to Asia, where they will take on BG Patum United in 4 days' time on the 21st. Cerezo Osaka from Japan 3 days later on the 24th. And then at the start of August, back in Europe. Over to Austria on the 6th of August to take on Villarreal. And 4 days later, on the 10th, we'll take on Aston Villa before a competitive season gets underway in the DFB Pokal. Thank you for joining us. As always, make sure you do next time. Stick with us for more pre-season action. And until next time,